right, here we go. Question number 4 from our Precalculus homework number 3 in MyLab Math. They want us to use transformations to graph the function. Then they want us to determine the domain, the range, the horizontal asymptote, and the y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is, taking the function over here in my scratch work, I'm going to generate a few ordered pairs. And since they want us to use transformations, we're also going to identify the transformations. Let's do that first. Notice that we do have a plus 4 added to the function. So when I say added to the function, I mean the base and the exponent. And a plus 4 outside of the exponent, that's going to indicate a vertical shift up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate ordered pairs from the parent function without the transformation, and then we will shift those y values up 4. Plugging in -1, 0, and 1 for x. 3 to the -1 power is a third. 3 to the 0 power is 1. 3 to the 1 is 3. And you can use a calculator if you need to calculate those to verify my results. And then remember, our original function had the vertical shift up 4. That is simply going to add 4 to each one of these y coordinates. So doing this manually on the graph, instead of having a y-intercept of 1, we're going to have a y-intercept of 5, because that will translate up 4 spaces. When x is 1, we're going to be up at 7. So 5, 6, 7. And then plus 4 to 1/3 would be 4 1/3. So at -1, we're going to be up at 4 and then some, just a little bit above 4. I would like to point out that this plus 4 also represents our horizontal asymptote, because for an exponential parent function, the horizontal asymptote is at the x-axis. So this will translate our asymptote up 4 spaces. And then we can get a basic graph of our function here. Using the graphing tool, we know that we want the exponential tool because this is an exponential function. And then it simply says click the graph to plot the curve. So we're going to have to click pretty much anywhere on the graph, and then we're going to set the sliders to where they need to be. Probably the first thing you should check and make sure that that base is set correctly. Here our base is 3, and it's already set to 3. Our vertical shift was up 4, so we need to shift that up to 4. Horizontal shift, we did not have a horizontal shift. We did not have any reflections or stretch or compressions. So that is the only thing we needed to manipulate this time, was the vertical shift. We're going to save. We're going to look and see if that graph looks like what we drew, and then check it. Now next it says, what is the domain of this exponential function? Guess what? The domain of any exponential function is always all real numbers. So if they want that in interval notation, all real numbers means everything from -infinity to infinity. The range in interval notation, remember the range is from bottom to top, from the negatives to the positives. And I want you to notice that our horizontal asymptote is at 4. Now remember that an asymptote is a line that the graph approaches but never touches. So for the range, we're going to have to use a parenthesis, because the graph will never be able to touch at 4. It's going to get infinitely close to 4, but never be 4. And then how high does it go? Well, it goes up to infinity. And so that would be our range in interval notation. Next, a question about the asymptote. It says the function has one horizontal asymptote. Yes, it does. It has only one horizontal asymptote. The function has two horizontal asymptotes. Nope. The function has no horizontal asymptote. That's not true either. It does have a horizontal asymptote. Now the question is, what is the asymptote? Well, since it's horizontal, it's going to have to be y equals wherever it's at. And this line is at a height of 4. Since it's a line, it has to be represented by an equation. And so that's why we have to put the y equals and not just 4. And what is the y-intercept? Well, that's probably the easiest question of all. We can see by looking at our graph that the y-intercept is 5. We can also see that from our scratch work over here. When I plug in a 0, I get a 5. And notice it says type an integer or simplified fraction. It does not say that we have to input the intercept as an ordered pair. So just the coordinate, and that's going to do it for this problem. So if you have any questions or comments about anything that we've covered, please feel free to leave those in the comment section below, or you can text me. And thanks for watching.